Lesley Dolphin.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
We have a story. Are those youngsters with you sitting comfortably? This is a story that's written, it's going to be read in just a minute or two by Ruth Greenfield Pereira. But Ruth, on the phone to have a quick chat first of all. Hello, Ruth.
Hi, Lesley. Nice to be on the show.
And thank you for doing the story. It's beautiful. It's enchanting. So we'll play that out in just a minute or two. But you wrote this during lockdown?
I did, yes. Yes, one day my husband was very kind and decided to let me take a nap during his lunch break. But when I went to actually take the nap, I couldn't sleep and the story popped into my head. So I just had to write it down.
You've got two youngsters, haven't you?
That's right. I have one who's going to be turning 3 in January and another who will be turning 2 in April.
So do they love the story?
Yeah, they. My older boy, he's asked me to read it to him several times. He's really quite into it. He's got a little toy polar bear to play with as he listens to it.
Oh, and I think didn't your dad used to tell you and write stories for you?
Yes, that's right. I think maybe it was partly his forgetfulness, but I don't think he always had a book with him to read from when he put us to bed. So he'd just make up these wonderful stories of his own to just tell us. And I think me and my brother both just enjoyed that more than the actual books he used to read to us. So, yeah, my love of stories started there, I think.
But you've never got as far as putting one down. And actually, I mean, did you do the illustrations as well?
I did, yeah. That's definitely been a bit of a learning curve for me because I've doodled on paper before, but I've never actually worked with digital like Pixelmator or anything before. So it was a big learning curve. But yeah, I did manage to illustrate it myself as well.
and it's there, so people can order it and buy it. Are they doing so?
Yes, I've sold quite a few copies, a lot more than I was expecting to be honest. I kind of wrote the book to start with just because I enjoyed it, but it seems like everyone else is enjoying it too. I've had some really positive feedback, and I've seemed to have got quite a few sales on Amazon, so very, it's a positive thing that's come out of lockdown for me, I guess.
So it's great. I was going to say, maybe a whole new career beckons.
Yeah, well, you never know what the future holds.
Well, thank you for coming to us and asking if you could read it. We don't do this very often, but I think for Christmas it's a lovely thing to do. So it's Little Fluff. Do you need to tell us any more about it before I play it?
I think let's just see what people think. They can listen to the story now. Hearing it from me.
Well, thank you very much, Ruth. And because it's in rhyme as well, isn't it? Did it take you very long to do?
The initial rhyming didn't take me very long, but then I had to think more about, the rhythm and things, getting the syllables to sort of go along a bit better. And it took me a little bit of editing, but yeah, the story itself was written in just, half an hour, but yeah, there has been a few more hours of editing gone into it as well.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'll let you put the phone down because then you can go and listen to your radio and hear it in quality as well. But thanks for doing this. People can actually buy this book as well. So Ruth Pereira, it is. Look for the book. It's called Little Fluff. And here, if you're sitting comfortably, is her story.
A long time ago, it's hard to say when, a polar bear lived who longed for some friends. In the cold North Pole he lived with his mum. Although it was nice, he often felt glum. Little Fluff by name loved looking to sea. He saw a small boat and longed to be free. Out of an iceberg he knew that would float, he fashioned himself a little ice boat. He paddled away from the snow and the ice. He drifted to sea. The feeling was nice. He floated all night. Then one after that, he smiled at his boat, he gave it a pat. He noticed right then the weather was warm. His little ice boat was getting quite small. "Help!" Little Fluff yelled as he started to panic. 1 foot on the boat! His cries were frantic. His lips started trembling. He began to weep. Then a haunting voice rose from the deep. I'll help you, small one, I'll take you to land. We'll go to the shore, the one with the sand. Thank you, dear whale. I'm glad to find land and see this strange thing that you call sand. Away swam the whale, he nodded his head. Use lots of sun cream, or you'll go quite red. Little Fluff turned around with a glint in his eye. Down beat the hot sun in the big, blue sky. He stretched on the beach in this new strange land. Travelling, Fluff thought, is really quite grand. Once his fun in the sun had come to an end, he started his search to find some fun friends. He gasped with wonder at the grass and the trees. He wandered around wherever he pleased. He found some good friends to play through the day. Fox, dog, pig and frog, and a creature that neighed. Once all the frolic and fun was o'er, his friends went back home to their mothers once more. All in an instant, Little Fluff was alone. He couldn't help thinking of his mum back at home. He wanted his mummy to hug and to cuddle. He sadly slumped down, his tears made a puddle. He then looked up and saw, as he suddenly appeared, a small man in green, with sharp pointy ears. My dear Little Fluff, I have an idea. Come along with me, you've no need to fear. The small elf led him, right by the hand, to a white-haired man making castles of sand. Although the old man looked very frustrated, Little Fluff jumped up, he was elated. Right there on the beach was a giant sand sleigh. It could make a boat to sail far away. The elf told him all about Little Fluff's plight. The man said he'd help him that very same night. On the vast rolling sea the sled sweetly sailed. The old man complained that he might have failed. He made sand houses for all his small elves, but they washed away before he'd made 12. He said that he needed a big, lovely place to prepare his presents for the whole human race. He wanted somewhere he could make toys for all the children, the good girls and boys. Little Fluff exclaimed, I've got just the thing! When at the North Pole he started to sing. Houses of snow will work much better. Make the toys here. But you'll need a sweater. Santa laughed loud and said, Lovely! Ho, ho! I'm glad I brought you to your home of snow. By helping you out, I'm starting to see the one I helped most was actually me. So Santa lives here to reach his goal, in his bright, busy workshop in the cold North Pole. Cuddling his mummy is our Little Fluff. Of sailing around, he's had quite enough.
And if you want to buy the book, you can. You will find it, as you would expect, online. Ruth Pereira, Pereira, and it's called Little Fluff. Thank you to Ruth for letting us have that as a story for Christmas.
The sounds of Suffolk.